From the alley-oops at Kezar to the glory days at the stick. From who's got it better than us to brick by brick. It's always the 49ers way. From off-season to game day. Yeah, we talk back. It's the 49ers Cutback.
It's 49ers Cutback Podcast time. Let's freaking go. 49ers get the win over the Dallas Cowboys. Woo! Yeah, Brad. I see Brad here says, don't know how my heart handled that. Maybe like 3 times during the game I said, well, this proves my heart health is very good. What a game between the rivals. Did we expect anything different than that? 49ers defense was absolutely spectacular in this game. I was so pumped. What a great performance from the 49ers defense. And when it came down to it, the 49ers offense did enough to win the game. But yeah, Matthew Rowley says, what was up with that sad ass last play? That was my feeling. I said all of that for that conclusion. I was happy to see it though. Jimmy Ward closed on it in a big time way, made a play. Deommodore Lenoir with an interception. Fred Warner with an interception with an assist from Jimmy Ward. Just a great performance. Just a great performance. And to all those fans from Dallas that chanted you wanted San Francisco, well, now you got San Francisco, or you had San Francisco. Didn't work out. And what's up to everyone in chat? WTM, how's it going? Just Cobra, what's up? Brad Jones, Jess, Matthew Rowley, David V, how's it going, my guy? Bebop, what's up? How's it going? Says bang bang, yeah. Shooter, what's up? How's it going? Yeah, we'll see if anyone comes through. What's up, Portola? So I'm up here in Seattle. Seahawk here set off fireworks when the Niners lose. They won't be any of them tonight. I love it. And Oscar, what's up, Oscar? How's it going? Coach Ralph, Eagles fan in chat. What's up, Coach Ralph? Is one of my good friends. To see you in Philly. It's going to be a spectacular game. The Eagles, whew, they're good. They're real good. And the 49ers are going to have to come out and play a really good football game to have a chance to win. Spectacular. David V says, I thought 21-9, close enough. That's a great score prediction. Well done, David V. Shooter says, was I I was not worried about the whole game. It was an interesting one for sure. Hey, yo, what's up, Jan? Lou says, Ant, gotta love it. Congratulations, San Francisco 49ers. Whew, it was a heck of a game. I think that, when it came down to it, too, that missed extra point early on in the game by Brett Maher, the 49ers are able to kick field goals. 3 field goals in the first half was so important because Robbie Gould is just consistently good in the playoffs. Now, Maher made field goals, and you got to give him credit for bouncing back and getting rid of the yips. But the 49ers, I think that extra point miss really just kept the 49ers kind of in it, and that defense just kept making plays. There's some interesting things, but the George Kittle catch, was that not spectacular? George Kittle over the middle, tipping it to himself. You see his eyes as he's looking for it. Trayvon Diggs almost gets there to hit him. Crazy. I mean, it was crazy. Brad Jones says, and Karmic Justice to the Cowboys radio host wishing an injury on CMC. Pollard. Yeah. Oh, man. Karma comes your way. That's unfortunate. I felt bad for Tony Pollard. That's unfortunate that his season went out like that. Now he's got to start his offseason, with a sprained ankle. But the good news is he's got time. He's got time on his hands. So Siggy says, on to Philly fam. Woohoo. Yeah, it's what you want. NFC Championship again. 49ers, 2019, making it to the Super Bowl. 2021, NFC Championship. 2022, NFC Championship. Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch have officially flipped this thing around. It's not enough. You got to win the NFC Championship. You got to go to the Super Bowl and get it done this time. But the 49ers are finding ways to win. And what is up, Drive Across 65? Thanks for subscribing to the channel. And everyone, if you want to subscribe and you are public, I'll make sure to shout you out. If you're not a public, let me know in chat, and I'll shout you out that way as well. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. The chicken on a stick, green sauce. Let's go. I like that one coming from Bebop. Roberta says nothing but the best. Yay Niners, on to Philly. We good. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun game. I think this one's gonna set up nice. You got 2 of the best defenses. You got some really tough offenses. It's going to be fun to watch. I think this game in Philly is going to be spectacular. They're no joke. They got a pass rush that's even better than Dallas. So the 49ers are going to have to figure out exactly how to be able to attack. But I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes. Rome the Upsetter, how's it going? Rome says, Ray pissed me off, but our defense is elite. You know what I love about Ray? McCloud has the fumble. Frustrating, right? I mean, I was extremely frustrated at the time. Turnover could have been backbreaking. 49ers defense shows up, and then on the next kickoff, Ray McCloud shows up. He breaks a tackle, spins off, and gets it across midfield. You have to respect a guy that when he makes a mistake, he responds with a big-time play. Those are the kind of guys you like on your football team because you're going to make mistakes. But the players that are able to put those mistakes behind them and then make a huge play to help their football team are the players you want around. And I guarantee you, he's going to get coached up on it. He's going to correct it. But in the end, everyone's going to have so much respect for him because of what he did and how he handled it. And Michael Humphrey says everyone's going to have to pray for his students. They're all Cowboys fans. He's gonna give it to him tomorrow. It's going to be so good. He says I might get fired. Don't get fired, Michael. Have fun. Don't get fired. Purdy played his worst game. It could have been. He was going against a tough opponent. He was getting pressured. But you know what? In the end, he made some big time throws. Some of those throws were high pressure, and I felt like he settled in again. You know, did he get 2 touchdowns like he's done? No. Did he have a tremendous amount of yards? No. He threw over 200 yards. He didn't throw any touchdowns, but he managed the game, and they were able to win. And that's what you're trying to do in these tough battles against really good football teams. And we've said for a long time in the NFC, there was 3 teams that were really good. Philadelphia Eagles, San Francisco 49ers, Dallas Cowboys. Well, you got through the Dallas Cowboys, and now you have to go ahead and try to get through Philly, and they are absolutely no joke. They are good. Lou says the office is definitely going to have more success when they go into Philly. The offense is definitely going to have more success. Yeah, you're right. They're going to have to, to play better. I think, they had some things that didn't really work, early on. They didn't have some success on the ground. They figured it out in the second half. And you of course, you got to play better. This is a matchup league. So sometimes you play teams and they match up, well. I thought the 49ers finally got to attacking Anthony Barr as we got into the fourth quarter. But before that, they were struggling a little bit. WTM says, Coach Ant, what grade do you give the offensive line? I really need to go back and watch this one. To be honest, my emotions, I was trying to watch and I'm trying to maintain, but focusing on the offensive line, I didn't do a great job. But I thought if you're grading them out completely on the whole game, I thought in the fourth quarter, third and fourth quarter especially, they showed up. I think early on, they were surprised by some of the pressure things that were going on, some of the things the Cowboys did. And then I thought once they made some adjustments, Chris Forster, Kyle Shanahan, they really did start to settle in. So I want to go back and see. But, I mean, off the top of my head, I'm probably going to put them in the C+ to B- range because of how much they struggled early on. But they finished strong, so I probably want to give them a B-. But I want to go back and watch a little bit of the All-22. It's really going to be a fun week of content, that's for sure. Drive says, hey, first time, long time. Are you worried about the Eagles? I think I'm as worried about the Eagles as I was about the Cowboys because they're a good football team. They have a very good pass rush. They have really good interior defensive linemen. They have good secondary players. So defensively, they're stout. On offense, they got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. They've got, the running game with Miles Sanders and even Kenny Gainwell. So I think they're very talented. They got one of the best offensive lines, if not the best offensive line in the league. It's going to be tough. I don't think the 49ers are going to roll for sure. They're going to have to go in there. It's going to be a gritty game. It's probably going to come down to the wire. So, I mean, as far as going in there, you have to execute at a high level to beat the Eagles. They're no joke. But the 49ers can definitely win if they play their best football. And the same with the Eagles. I mean, the Eagles could do it too. David Campbell says, hello to the winners. Yeah, hello. Winners in the house. Randy Titona says, congrats, TCC and Faithful. I'm going to bed. Well, good night, Randy. Have a good night, and it'll be easy to sleep after that. Brad says, was the last play by the Cowboys worse than last year? It was. It didn't work. I think they were going to try to get it to Turpin. They figured he would have a little bit more space. He was going to run towards the middle of the field, try to draw a lot of the defense, and then be able to throw it off and then, kind of throw it around. And by starting with everyone spread out, then they could throw it to different guys. But that didn't work out. The 49ers knew exactly how to handle it. Greg Greenlaw ran over the top of Zeke Elliott as he snapped it. And then Jimmy Ward just closed out and made a huge hit. That was really, really fantastic. Travis says, George freaking Kittle, don't play with him. That was a top 3 catch of the year. It was so close too, because he's able to catch it just in time to dip underneath Diggs. So fun. Lou says, one of my favorite parts is seeing Jerry's face. Jerry, that was really cool. Ziggy says, what do you think the reason was we couldn't get going on offense? I think overall, Dallas came in with a very solid game plan. They were taking away the things that Kyle wanted to do. They made some adjustments. If you watch the scouting report video or listen to me talk in the preview show, what was going on even in the game against the Commanders, and the game against Tampa is when they caught, some of the guys from, Anthony Barr on the same side as Micah Parsons, they were able to attack that side. Well, if you go and watch this game today, they don't do that. So wherever you got Micah Parsons on that side, you had I'm going blank. Van Der Esch on that side. And then on the other side, you had DeMarcus Lawrence on the same side as Anthony Barr. So they protected Anthony Barr in this game. And I think that somewhat slowed up the pass rush. So it slowed up the run game for the 49ers. WTM says Parsons had 0 sacks. They did a good job. He wasn't able to get home. They did get some sacks in the game, but none from Parsons. It was one of those things that they took care of. They made sure he wasn't going to be the one to get it done. So he said Brock did good enough to win when we needed it. I'm with you on that. That's how I felt as well. Mr. Corey says series is now tied 19 all time. Freaking interesting, huh? Uncle Rob says 40 freaking Niners. You're like Uncle Rob, 40 freaking Niners. Head on to 49ers Cutback shop and get your 40 freaking Niners t-shirt right over there. Brad Jones says the Eagles D-line faster than the Dallas D-line because I thought it was their speed that really bothered them. No, I don't think it's faster, but they have more experienced, better technical pass rushers, with Graham and with those guys up there. And they do have some speed. They have Sweat. Josh Sweat's pretty good. So I think they do have some speed, but they have a lot more technical as far as, D-line guys. And what's tough about the Eagles is the Eagles have, I think it's like 5 or 6 guys that have like 10 sacks. It might even be more. It's ridiculous. They're very talented. They're very balanced. But I do see some areas that you can attack, and I'm sure we'll get into that all during the week, about how you go ahead and take on the Eagles. It's going to be a fun week to break down. 49ers Gauss is glad it was a quick game. Hopefully CMC is okay and no other injuries. Robbie game with a block and points. I don't think CMC's hurt. I think it was him trying to keep it warm, keep it fresh so he could go in there and make plays. So I'm not too worried about that. Darkness Taste of Light says, how about them Cowboys? Woo! I mean, that's one of the things I least like is the how about them Cowboys thing from Jimmy Johnson. He did it in the pregame. I can't stand it. So yeah, I'm not. And what's up to KNDR? Welcome to chat, KNDR. How's it going? David V says, we did it, faithful. Let's go, Niners. So good. What's up? I bleed red and gold. He says, let's go. Welcome to chat. Mr. Corey says, first half C-, second half B. So that'd be pretty close, right? It ends up being close to a B-, like I said. Me and Mr. Corey are pretty close to the same page. Michael Humphrey says, the only person that scares me next week is Kyle and his play calling. I didn't think he did terrible today. There were some things that didn't work out, but there was some lack of execution. Were there bad plays? I'm sure there were, which will probably be on display during the week. But I thought that there was some, like the quarterback draw by Brock Purdy. I mean, if it would have been executed correctly and Dan Brunskill wouldn't have missed his block, you would have had Brock Purdy making a move on somebody about the 3-yard line, potentially. That's an opportunity to score a touchdown. And if not, at least, get it to a third and really short where you can score a touchdown with a run or something up the middle. So to me, there were moments that were lack of execution that caused the plays to look worse than they were. Christopher, how's it going? Says, yes, 40 yards on to Philly. Cowboys made us more ready for the Eagles. They did. You need those tough games. Charles says, good night watching from Nassau, the Bahamas. 49ers all the way to the Super Bowl. Thanks so much, Charles, for watching all the way from the Bahamas. I hope you're having a good one. I hope you have a good night. Anonymous says, Armstead almost got the safety, but I keep predicting and being wrong about it. He should have had it. I don't know what that was. The only thing we could guess, a bunch of us were watching this together. He was afraid he was going to get a penalty. That's all we could guess. But yeah, he could have closed it out right there with the sack. It was very, very interesting. And then Brad says that game could have finished on 2 different occasions. The Dre drop pick 6, the Armstead not getting the safety on Dak, and probably the Elijah Mitchell not going out of bounds would have made it really tough. maybe even finish it off, Brad. And we got a super chat from Jess, says, what a game. Loving it, man. Loving it, man. Love that. Well done, Jess. Thanks for the super chat. Really, really appreciate it. And what's up, Jay Hill? Jay Hill in the house. I'm sure everyone will want to catch the Ant Hill show this week. It's going to be a celebration, but also looking ahead to Philly. Jay Hill says, enjoying a victory cigar and cocktail. Not surprised. Like, nothing about that surprises me. You're probably wearing a V-neck or a pink shirt. And if I'm right, please put it in the chat, because I'm guessing I am. Anonymous says, I'm not sure if I was breathing for most of the fourth quarter. It's funny. During the fourth quarter, I was more comfortable than I was maybe in the third quarter. I think where I got a little nervous is when Ray put the ball on the ground. That one was really tough. Brad says, what do I get for lunch, Ant? No. What's available to you, Brad? I think that's a good question. Matthew Rowley, I mean, you know what you should get? You should probably get barbecue, since it's Texas, right? Too bad you can't get Whataburger. That would be fun. Matthew Rowley says, I have seen a lot of criticism of Purdy this game. I thought he did just fine. The only bad throws I saw were all tipped. I'm not really freaking out about it. He went against a really good defense. He made the throws he needed to make. Did he have some bad plays? Yeah, he did. Did he have some really great plays? Absolutely. And that's what you want your quarterback to do, come in and compete. I didn't think the team won in spite of him. I thought they won as, what you heard from Greg Olson, as, they win because of him. And I think he was a big part of the win. The 49ers, it was a team victory today, and they did it. They got it done. WTM, is it safe to say 49ers can win every style of football game? I don't know if it's safe to say that. I think it's always better if it's their style of football, which is a running game with, good defense. You don't want to get into shootouts. I mean, can you win shootouts? Yes. But I don't think that's the style of play the 49ers want to play. They're built on physicality. And next week against the Eagles, it's going to be two teams built on physicality going against each other. It's going to be a fun matchup. There's going to be hard hitting. There's going to be people battling. A lot of cool matchups in that game. Matthew Rowley says also Micah Parsons is a guy. He threw Mike like he was a child with one arm. Yeah, he did. It looked like a judo throw. It was interesting. They chipped Micah Parsons with George Kittle, and I think that actually threw off the timing a little bit with Mike McGlinchey. He was trying to get upfield to cut Micah Parsons off, and he had too much weight going that way. Parsons grabbed him with a little inside move. Mike tried to stop. He threw him by. It worked out for him. Forktail says, hashtag TCC defense wins the day again. They did. They showed up in a big way. And Daryl with the super chat. Thanks so much, Daryl. Says, so much for Ryan's being distracted. Good win. Yeah, there's no distraction. And thanks, Daryl, so much for the super chat. There's no way he was distracted at all. I mean, just no way. I knew he wouldn't be. The team wouldn't be. They're focused on trying to get this Super Bowl. That's what they want. And how's it going, Harold? Harold comes through and says, let's go Niners, Niners worldwide. 49er Gal says, NFC might be weaker conference this year, but the two best there for next week. Yeah, the two best teams in each conference are playing in the championship games. So it's good. It's going to be a fun Sunday next week. It's going to be so good. 49ers got to execute at a high level to be able to win. But same with the Eagles. You can't have mistakes. Brad says, hell of a stat incoming. Prior to the season, no rookie quarterback has thrown 200 yards and no picks in the playoff game. Purdy just did it 2 weeks in a row. That's an impressive stat. I mean, that shows who he is. So yeah, I mean, that's big time. Mr. Corey says, Ant, how about the McGlinchey block on McCaffrey's TD run? In my Ric Flair voice, woo! Oh, love that, Mr. Corey. Yeah, I mean, the offensive line was showing up. They were playing hard. They were playing tough. Super excited about, how they battled in the second. I thought they took over the game in the third and early fourth quarter. That's what you needed. WTM says in bold predictions, had Dak throwing 3 picks. He tossed 2.5. Well played on that, WTM. Anonymous telling everyone to tickle that like button if you like the Cowboys getting eliminated from the playoffs, no matter who does it. So yeah, hit that like button if you're watching right now. If you're listening, hit the like button. Brad says, so we beat the Cowboys to shut Skip up. Now we have to beat the Eagles to shut up Shady McCoy. Yeah, Shady's always talking. That guy's he's just trolling everybody. Marvin, how's it going? Talking Heads at Fox said the winner in Philly wins the Hyper Bowl. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I think it's going to be tough. I think Cincinnati's a good football team. I think overall, I think Kansas City's good. What'll happen with Patrick Mahomes? How healthy is he? I think there's going to be some. Jason said he's wearing a hoodie, too cold on a lovely pad. Oh, you're outside. What are you wearing under that hoodie? I bet it's a V-neck. Mr. Corey says Armstead and Greenlaw at the end. Those dudes are beasts, man. They're beasts. Harold says McGlinchey came in clutch. Let's give McGlinchey some love. LFG, so let's effing go 49ers. Yeah, I mean, I think McGlinchey over the last month and a half, the last 6 weeks has been great. Ziggy just left 5 windows in Lodi. Surprised you missed Jay Hill. He's usually up in there. Probably not today, but yeah, 5. Good job. I hope you had a good time, Ziggy. I hope you enjoyed yourself out there. Harold says, Kittle, the people's tight end, best tight end in the NFL. Let's go 49ers. He was making some plays. He was beating coverage. He looked good. It was fun. It was really, really fun. Brad Jones says barbecue sucks in Australia. I think it might have to be KFC. Well played. Yeah, I didn't know. I don't know about the food out there in Australia. Forkel says, Ant, what was the last play call by Dallas? Zeke at center. It's all about getting athletic players on the field. So Zeke was eventually going to be involved in the play. So you want to get the ball to Turpin. You have all these athletic players out there. You want to get the linemen out where they can shield and help protect. But it's basically going to be some schoolyard BS. Throw it to Turpin. Turpin's going to try to get upfield, and then he's going to start throwing it back. At some point, Dak and Zeke and all of them are going to get the ball, and they're just going to kind of keep trying to throw it around and try to get downfield. It's just a different way of starting from that. And, I mean, there's been teams that have literally ran that as an offense. I think it's called the A22 or A11. I'm sorry, it's called the A11 offense. And, I mean, they just, they didn't execute at a high level. 49ers defense went out and blew it up. But it is a real thing. It really is a good thing. Yeah, exactly. Almost says Skip Bayless gonna be eating his foot tomorrow. He is. He really is. And what's up, Anthony? How's it going? Anthony Robles in the house says, in my opinion, besides the Seahawks, the Cowboys were the worst team in the NFC playoffs. The 49ers don't step it up next week. They're going to lose against the Eagles. Okay. Yeah, they didn't play great today. They played really good against Tampa Bay. I would think Tampa Bay was actually the worst team. Them and the Seahawks were the 2 worst teams in the playoffs. And then the New York Football Giants. I think those 3 teams were the worst. I think the Cowboys were one of the top 3 teams because Tampa Bay won their division, but they were 8-9. They didn't actually deserve to be in the playoffs. They just won a really, really bad division. So that's just where I think it is. But I mean, I think the Cowboys were, they were top 10 in almost every single statistical category, offensively and defensively. Pretty good. What's up, T.O.? T.O. in the house. Stephen A. Smith is going to have a field day. Well, on Dak tomorrow. You're right. Lou says all the adversity and experience of the playoffs and all that comes with it makes me feel really good about Brock's future no matter what happens the rest of the way. He's getting a lot of it. I mean, that's the thing. He's playing, he's going to play a lot of a significant football. He's learning a lot in these times. And next week is going to be big. It's going to be his first road playoff game. What's up, Horst? Horst in the house. How's it going, Horst? If you haven't seen Horst, he's on Slightly Offsides. That's over on Patreon. And Traffic just became a channel member. Welcome to the crew, Traffic. Really appreciate you joining up and joining the Cutback crew. Let's see. Deplorable. Okie says Robbie Gould MVP tonight. Robbie Gould was Robbie Gould's playoff. I mean, he's lights out in the playoffs, and he showed up today. That throw to Juwan Jennings by Brock Purdy was great. It got him in field goal range. That was one heck of a throw, and Juwan Jennings does it again. He gets open. 49er Gal said, disappointing with special teams, how many yards Dallas was able to get. I wasn't a fan of kicking short to Turpin. And Turpin made some things, happen. I think you guys know that by being, throughout the week, seeing what I had to say. That was one thing I was considering, or I was concerned about, except keeps kicking it out of the end zone. Just keep kicking it out of the end zone, but they didn't. They tried to angle kick it. They only kicked it out one time. Matthew says, quick straw poll. Worst final play, Dak quarterback sneak, or whatever you call the Cowboys did tonight. I'm going with Cowboys did tonight. The Dak one, right? If you get up and you spike it, potentially you can make it happen. But WTM says, hey, at Coach Antho, how big is Huff's timing when he blitzes? Today it was fantastic. He definitely picked up something of, their timing on how they were calling their their plays because he was getting out there quickly on their snap counts. It was really, really good. Hufanga made some big plays in this game. Jay Hill says EG's finest already tweeted that they wanted us. Okay, so that's Eric Armstead. That would be Elk Grove's finest, I'm guessing. And what's up? Well, we got another new subscriber here. Jashaw. I don't know if I'm saying it right. If I'm saying it wrong, let me know in chat. Jashay W, thank you so much for the subscription. Really appreciate it. Harold says the shady guy, man. What's up? A 49ers hater can't wait until the 49ers beat the Eagles as well. If they do, then he's gonna have to eat everything he said. Forecast says, Ant, what was the last play call by Dallas? Zeke at center? Okay, well, I think we did that one already, right? Leonard, how's it going? It says you guys got lucky. Pollard got hurt, but I just like the Eagles more than the Niners. I mean, guys get hurt. I mean, we're on our third quarterback. So, I mean, it's unfortunate Pollard got hurt. I think it did slow down the offense for Dallas. But at the time he got hurt, they had scored one touchdown. It wasn't like, Pollard was dominated. I do think he would have had a role in the football game, but how big of a role, I'm not sure. So, I mean, it's unfortunate he got hurt. I never want to see a player get hurt, actually. What's up, Paul? How's it going? Welcome to chat. Says, let's go Niners. Paul says, oh, yeah, Paul is in the house. Jess is in the house. We got all the crew here. Mr. Course, Skip Bayless will cry about Pollard going out injured. Yeah, that was unfortunate. You know what I mean? That was really unfortunate. Paul says, watch party next weekend. Come on, man, in the 916. Did you have a watch party this time? Did you and Philip get together, Paul? Did you guys have a good one? I hope you did. Travis says, how many times do the Niners got to eliminate the boys before we are America's team? It's a good question. They've beaten them the last 3 occasions now in the playoffs. That's pretty darn spectacular. The 49ers are getting it done. I mean, that's the thing. Right now, the 49ers are beating the Cowboys. And that's what you have to do. You have to win these football games, that come your way. And Bobo with the super chat. Thanks so much, Bobo. Says, I'm so happy for our fans and everyone here to more. Yeah, we're on the right track. And now it's 49ers in Philly. And you just gotta keep on enjoying the season, what the 49ers have done, the struggle at the beginning of the year, but coming through. It's been a fun team to watch, and let's see how they go ahead and figure it out. And Marvin says this is great. No such thing as lucky scoreboard. Yeah, I mean, that's it, right? You have to win the game. You have to execute. You have to make plays. Jan says, Ant, what do you think about Eric letting off on the potential sack safety to put the game away? The only thing I can think is he doesn't want to get a penalty right there, right? He doesn't want to get a situation where he gets a roughing the passer or something in that nature to extend the game, give them a free first down, stop the clock with no timeouts. I'm guessing that's what he's thinking. But I'm curious what he's going to end up, saying about it. So we'll see. Follow his steps. Just subscribe. Thanks so much for coming through. Follow his steps. Appreciate you joining the Cutback crew. So I don't think that, Armstead, did it on purpose. I think he's just, he's really he was trying to be easy with Dak. I think he thought he was just going to grab him, but Dak's a big physical dude. Grab him, maybe take him out of bounds, but he gets away. And that was unfortunate because that would have ended the game right there. That would have been not only enough points to make it 2 scores, but they would have been forced, to actually kick it to the 49ers, and the 49ers could have just kneeled on it. So I think that was one of those interesting ones. Ernest says, round trip tickets to Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, $250. Ernest, are you going out there for the NFC Championship game? Let us know in chat. What's up, Gary? Gary had a great time. He says, say hey, and the Heathen was rocking. Well, I'm glad you guys all had a good time at the Heathen. I'm sure there was a great energy out there. Spectacular. Forko says, the way Dallas was getting interior penetration pressure concerns me for upcoming Philadelphia, to be honest, but I still like our chances. Yeah, I mean, they did a good job. I mean, you got to give Dallas defense credit. They came out and they played tough. They played physical. They played the run good. But what you saw was they couldn't keep it up for 4 quarters, right? We've seen a lot of teams come out against the 49ers and play good for 30 minutes. Seattle did the same thing. And then all of a sudden, the physical nature of the 49ers on offense and defense takes over. The depth of the offensive 49ers and defensive line for the 49ers take over. And that is huge for this team. And that's how they go ahead and they dominate. And I like the way they're able to close it down. I wish Elijah Mitchell would have went inside because I think we would have closed the game out on offense. But it worked out. 49ers got the win, and that's the most important thing. And they did enough, and that's all it's about. It don't matter if they play the Eagles next week and win the game 7-6. That don't matter as long as you win. So it wasn't pretty. It wasn't anything that anyone would could say like, oh, Niners rolled with them, but they got the win, and that's what matters. Paul says, hey, coach, the Phillies look pretty good. We're going to need some wisdom from you on how we can beat them. Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm going to get into their film. I'm going to rip apart their film against the Giants, see what they did well. I'll probably go back and watch a couple games, especially how they play the Cowboys now, that I've seen how good the Cowboys defense is and what they were doing. The Cowboys were able to limit Philadelphia, especially the second time on offense. The first time. They held them to 130 plus yards passing and 138 yards rushing. So I think there's going to be some stuff we can get from there and find out kind of where Kyle's going to go with it. And Coach Horse hitting with the Bobo. Well played, Coach Horst. Alex Horst, and you guys all know him as Horst. He's in the chat. Mr. Corey says, we got lucky Pollard got hurt. He was averaging 3.7 yards per carry before he left. Didn't we beat Dallas last year when Bosa got hurt in the first quarter and Warner in the fourth? We did. Ayo, what's up, Ayo, with the subscription, and welcome to the 49ers Cutback crew. Glad to have you come through. Jay Hill says, Eagles open up as 2-point favorite for non-betting folks. Standard home advantage is 3 points. Wow, that is interesting. I thought it would be 3 points. I really did. The fact it's under 3. We'll see how that moves as the week goes on. I figured with Philadelphia dominating the Giants, but I think there was a lot of people amongst Vegas that thought Dallas Cowboys were the one of the best teams in the division. And Mr. Sinister's in the house. Says bang bang Niner gang. Welcome, Mr. Sinister. Ray says mad respect for the Cowboys defense. They turned it into a trench war. Eagles are not this stout on the line, and linebackers expect the Niners to go in full run mode next week. It's going to be curious. They do have some big time defensive linemen over there. I mean, lots of talent, for the Eagles. I mean, the Eagles are no freaking joke when it comes to their roster. So I think the 49ers are going to have to. I mean, they're probably the deepest roster that's not San Francisco. That's what it's coming down to. So I think it's going to be a tough game. The 49ers can win the game. They just got to execute. And that's how it is with all games, right? You just got to go in there and execute your game plan and get it done. Bubble says, Purdy played well, a very good defense, and he didn't turn over the ball, unlike Dakota Prescott. Yeah, Dak did turn over the football. Those plays were huge in this football game. They netted the 49ers 6 points. I wish it could have been 14. But overall, the 49ers got points and walked away. And, in the grand scheme of things, it's close to the difference of the game. Brad says, oh my God, the video from Brad at the SF Niners for the Kittle catch is awesome. I'm gonna have to check that out. Brad, I'm gonna enjoy that, I'm sure. Mr. Corey says, Dallas outplayed us in the first half, but we outplayed them in the second half. I think they outplayed us in some categories. But when you're turning over the football like Dak Prescott is, that you can't totally outplay a team, because the 49ers were +2 in turnovers in the first half. And with that being said, I mean, the Niners walked away with a 9-6 lead. You have to feel good about yourself. Like, hey, if we start capitalizing on some of these turnovers, we can win. And did Dallas move the ball a little bit? Sure they did. But, overall, they didn't get it really done. I think what was interesting is the Madden Sim had the 49ers win 21-6. It ends up being 20-12 or 19-12. So pretty close, Madden Sim, with the low score. WTM says it feels really good to get back in the NFC Championship. It does. A says, hey, bud, what a game today. It was a spectacular game. It was so fun to watch, AO. It really was. It was so good. And then Ernest says, what's the news on Charles Omenihu? Well, during the game, they said it was an oblique. He was questionable to return. He ended up returning. So that's good news for the 49ers, because if he was able to come back out there and play, the odds of him playing next week are very good. And I didn't think he was going to want to miss a game that involved the Cowboys, because he wants to play the Cowboys so much. Jay Hill says, I think the defense showing out like that was a big statement for Vegas. Fred was player of the game. Man, they can do it all, right? I mean, this defense can do it all. It's been fun to watch, and I think you're right. Fred Warner had himself a spectacular game. Lots of splash plays, right, Jay Hill? Splash play like an interception, diving through there and grabbing, Tony Pollard's legs on a couple of runs. covering CeeDee Lamb down the middle of the field. How many middle linebackers can turn and run with a slot wide receiver and cover them like that with blanket coverage? Absolutely spectacular. Harold says great weapon that Purdy possesses is that he doesn't panic to speed up speed of defense attack. He is good. He has good reactions. You're right. I mean, he has escapability. Yeah, and follow his steps says, yay, loving this win today. It was a big win. It really does. Brad says, doesn't seem to be any injuries coming out of the game. That is great news. Brad always coming through with the updates. Dale says, Ant is right. This is two rosters, I think 1 through 53 in the sport. Yeah, they're the best. They're the deepest. They have as far as trenches. You start going over offensive line. I mean, the Eagles are probably the best offensive line in the league. They're going to be going against potentially, the best defensive line in the league in the 49ers. And then Philadelphia's defense is no joke either. Brad says, I didn't watch the Bills game. Were the Bengals really that much better? They played that much better. I don't think they are that much better, but they played that much better. I think the snow played into it a little bit as well. But the Bills haven't looked the same in the last few weeks. I think that, they left some plays out there. But, I mean, when it came down to it, he just relied on his big-time players. Joe Burrow relied, on his guys, and they made plays for him, and they established a run game. And once they got the run game really rolling with Mixon, they were able to run it down their throat, and it slowed everything down. WTM says, what grade do you give Kyle's play calling? I'm going to give it a solid A-. I thought he did a good job. I think there were some execution issues. I thought Dallas threw some things out there. But, I mean, they did change up some things. He had to adjust, and I thought in the second half, his adjustments were really, really good. So I think it's probably going to be an A-. Of course, it could always shift when we get into the All-22, but I think when we get into the All-22, we're going to see that the speed of Dallas gave some of the 49ers problems as far as blocking. Defenders were able to get across their face. That was something of what Tampa Bay dealt with last week. Tristan Wirfs, who's one of the better tackles in the league, he struggled, allowing guys to get across his face last week, and that happened this week as well. And what's up, Kylie? How's it going? Kylie's in the house, in chat. Brad said Stephen A. Smith's video trolling Cowboys is brilliant, as always. I'm going to have to check that out. What's up, Akatsuki Gaming? He says, bro, what's up, bro? How's it going? Welcome to chat. Glad to have you come through. I don't know if I said that right. Hopefully I did. If I didn't, let me know, and I'll try to correct it the best I can. Yeah, Kylie's all the way from Hawaii. Welcome. Or is she home? No, she said they're back home, so they're not there. Lou says Philadelphia cloudy and 48 next Sunday. Well, weather should not be a problem. Good, solid find there, Lou. I appreciate the update there. Follow his steps is being nice to everyone in chat, which is great. I love the chat. JCL says he dominated on all three levels. Brad Jones says the Cowboys didn't look like scoring against the Niners in the second half. Only points came from the fumble recovery and the long kickoff return. And the big play, right, was the CeeDee Lamb throw down the sideline on Deommodore Lenoir. Lenoir, jumped it a little bit, got caught, but I mean they were able to, make some plays. And then Jay Hill said that's the Fred he wants to see all the time. That's the Fred that's always there. Just sometimes he's taking other roles because we don't have a full roster of guys, and he's having to do what he can to help. So, yeah. And Marvin says, do not think KC can beat Cincy next week. Cincy's had great success against Kansas City, over the last several weeks. Last several years. As soon as Joe Burrow came on the scene, they've struggled. I think it's like 3 in a row now. Brad says, biggest question is whether or not Jimmy G will dress as the backup next week. I hope that's not the biggest question. Right? I hope that's not the biggest question. I mean, there's a potential he could. We'll see. We'll see how that plays out. Mr. Corey says we got the Cowboys again at home in the regular season. That'll be fun game next year. Marvin says Bengals went to Buffalo as snowstorm and beat them down. They did. Uncle Rob says we should have been called for too many men on the field with Dak throwing to us. Well played. Brad says to mean why the Bills go after Sean Payton, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think they should. Kylie says, what's up, Ant? Feel free to shout out Nicholas right now and let them know KC sucks. Oh, that's right, I forgot. Nicholas, Kylie's husband, is a Kansas City fan. Boo. Evo says Zeke was at center, right? That was it was crazy. It was a crazy alignment. A11. It didn't work. When I coached, there was a team that used to run some A11, and we taught our kids, hey, you just got to know who's open and who's an eligible receiver and who's not. So you just ignore the offensive linemen that are out wide. They're just there to block or to shield. But you start going through the eligibles of who they are. And depending on if they're the last ones on the line or if they're off ball, you can determine who the eligibles are, and the rest of the guys don't matter. So it's like on a chessboard, you can be like, okay, he don't matter, he don't matter, he don't matter, he don't matter. And once they know and the 49ers did the right thing, calling a timeout, they just took it away, executed it. So yeah, I mean, it was a crazy play. I don't know, I don't know if it would have worked if they would have got a little bit more room but it ultimately didn't because Jimmy Ward closed it down. Mr. Corey says this was a similar game to the game against Philly last season that we won in Philly, but that Philly team didn't have AJ Brown. Yeah, that's a big move that they made getting AJ Brown. He's good. WTM says, what grade do you give Kinlaw? I'm going to give him an A because he's playing tough against the run, and that's his job. He does a very good job. Traffic says, without trying to be biased here, I don't remember a team ever being so good at second half adjustments. They're one of the best. They execute at such a high level. Siggy says, aloha, I'm in Hawaii as we speak, beats freezing in Montana. Yeah, Hawaii, way better way to enjoy this win. So that's really nice. Brad Jones says, in terms of injuries, that is for Jimmy. Yeah, Jimmy, right, and they're going to have to make a decision, I think, officially on Ambry Thomas. I know they said he has a chance to get back. Let's see if they go Ambry Thomas or... if they want to go with Jack Rabbit Jenkins, because I think that's the decision they have to make. Ronald, how's it going? Ronald says, hell yeah, 49ers win, baby. Welcome to chat, Ronald. Brad Jones says, KFC officially here. There you go. Eat that chicken. Kill that bird. Do your thing. What's up, Rob? How's it going? He says, nothing beats beating Dallas. Felt so good. It felt so good to get it done. NYC Niner Empire in the house. Yeah, it did. It felt so good getting the big win over Dallas. It's exactly what needed to happen. Dallas, one of those rivals that the 49ers have that you just can't deal with. So you just can't lose to them. You have to win, and the 49ers got it done. And that was so fun. The energy at the end of the game as they're celebrating was so fun. I loved every single minute of it. Marvin says, my second favorite team is whoever's playing Dallas. And today, my favorite team beat Dallas. There you go. Jan says it's freezing in Alaska. Ooh, I can't imagine. I get cold out here in California, and you're in Alaska. I'm sure that's freezing. Follow a step says, how about the catch by Kittle off his face mask? Spectacular. George Kittle's goes one hand, reaches out, knocks it back to himself, and then just the way he focused on the football as it hung in the air. It felt like it hung in the air forever. And then he's able to bring it in, dip underneath Trayvon Diggs, and get the positive gain. It was a spectacular play in the game. Travis, is there any word on Omenihu, by the way? I think he's good. He had an oblique problem. He was questionable. He came back in the game. Usually when they come back in the game, they're going to be okay. So I think Omenihu's going to be good to go for the NFC Championship game. Brad says that look Jerry gave Kittle after the catch. Yeah, exactly. It was big time, right? Mike, how's it going? Says, do you think Purdy is guaranteed to be the starting quarterback at the start of next season? I don't know if it's a guarantee, but it's getting pretty darn close to being a Purdy guarantee. Because I mean, he's just won 2 playoff games. And I mean, I know you like Trey, I know they like Trey, they like his skill set, they like his ability. But in the grand scheme of things, I mean, Brock Purdy's proven what he can do. So it's been pretty good. Motivation Gaming says karma is a mofo. The Dallas broadcaster wished injury on McCaffrey, and look what happened to Pollard. Yeah, that's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that Pollard got hurt. We don't want him to actually get hurt. We wanted him to play in the game, but it was a bad play. He got hurt, so it was tough. And what's up, Gary? Gary says, hey, like the like button, hit the like button, do it. John says, what's up, Echo Janto? The hashtag TC. What makes 14-1 at home great, right? I mean, home field advantage. There was worries over a long time. Is Levi's going to be home field advantage? It is. Melody says, gonna have to play better against the Eagles, but enjoying the win. Yeah, I mean, you just take it for what it is. You find the things that you didn't execute well at. You find out why, and then you try to figure out how to do better. And then it's different matchups because they got different players. You're not worried about some things against the Eagles that you're worried about against the Cowboys and vice versa. Mr. Corey says, I could stomach losing to Philly on the road, but not the Cowboys at home. I didn't want to lose to the Cowboys. I don't want to lose to Philly. I want to get it done. Michael Cole says, go Niners. I love you guys. Put it on the Cowgirls. Yeah, thanks, Michael. Appreciate it. Siggy says, Kittle threw the ball to Jerry. He did. That was interesting. Google account says Dallas put up a fight. That defense was no joke. Fred Warner is that dude. He is. I mean, he steps up. He lives up to what people think about him. He was really, really spectacular. So I enjoyed how Fred played. The defense responded. The defense played well. Even though there wasn't a lot of sacks, the defensive line pressured Dak, made him throw tough throws. So, I mean, you got to love it. Go Rams says, let's go Niners. Me, a Rams fan, has respect for the 49ers. Appreciate that, Go Rams. Appreciate you coming through chat and having respect for the Niners. Well done. Evo says, MVP of the game. I'm going to go with Fred Warner. He had the interception. He had so many big plays on defense, the coverages, the tackles, the way he led the team. I think it's going to be Fred Warner for me. Siggy says, Dallas number 2D. Good thing we're number 1. Yeah, you needed all of it in this game. All of it. You just gotta be that good. And the 49ers were that good today. They executed at a high level. And they're gonna continue to execute like this. They got a game that they gotta win. Next Sunday at 12 noon Pacific time, they have to go out there and play their best game to be able to beat Philadelphia. I mean, that's what it's about. Mr. Corey says, how did Tony Pollard become Barry Sanders to some folks all of a sudden? I'm not sure. I like his speed. I like his ability. I think he can get out on the edge. That was going to be tough against the 49ers. 49ers have fast running backs that can cover sideline to sideline, so I thought that was an issue for them. I didn't think Tony Pollard was going to have a big game. I thought he'd have a couple really nice plays. He had a couple good runs in the game, which was kind of what I was expecting. So, yeah, and Michael comes through the breaking news. The Cowboys are still in the playoffs and could be Super Bowl bound in Madden 23. No, because in my Madden Sim, they got knocked out this week. So Madden Sim continues to predict the games right. It did predict even Kansas City defeating the 49ers. So far, it's been pretty solid. Soothing, how's it going? Soothing Sound says, hey, yo, on the way home from the game, felt tentative at the game, but defense stepped up and turned over the battle, won the game. It was. And I hope you had a great time, Soothing Sounds. You guys were loud in the house, getting it done, and really, really appreciate it. Mr. Sis says Robbie Gould is MVP with that sack. He made a tackle, right? So, I mean, you could. Mr. Sinister, you have Robbie Gould with those the field goals that he made and the tackle that he made. Him and Jackrabbit Jenkins are able to get the ball carrier down. It was really a spectacular play. Marvin says the two Fox announcers were all about giving the game to the Cry Boys before the game started. Well, doggies, how about them Niners? Yeah, Niners. I mean, there was a lot of people that wanted to go the Cowboys' way. Loses 49ers wide receivers quiet today. Debo made a couple of plays. Brandon Ayuk had a couple big catches that were third and needed conversions. Jawan Jennings had the conversion as well. So I think there were plays. Was it big time plays that equaled touchdowns? No. Were they pivotal plays in a defensive battle? Yes. So you got to keep that in mind. But you're right. Also, Lou, the Kittle was lights out. He played fantastic, and they were giving him the matchups. Jaron Curse one-on-one, him on the outside one-on-one with Deron Bland. Those are big time opportunities for him to be successful, and he was. You knew if you doubled Debo like they did, if they bracketed Christian McCaffrey, other guys were going to have opportunities. You just had to find the right one at the right time, and he did enough. That was the thing. Brock Purdy did enough, found those guys at the right time. So it was good. Mr. Corey says, my boy Ebucom with a blocked extra point and only real sack at a crucial time. He played good. He played really great last postseason too, remember? So yeah, Ebucom comes up in the biggest times and makes plays. David Campbell says Dak is so overrated, overpaid, and over everything. Yeah, Jay Hill feels the same way. Jay Hill's always sending stuff in our group chats about how Dak is overrated and all that. And you're not wrong. And Evo says, why Eric don't kill Dak in the end zone? I think it's just so he didn't get a penalty. I really do. So they didn't have a 15-yard penalty that stopped the clock. They gave the opportunity, but I'm guessing we'll hear from him at some point. Someone will ask him, and then we'll kind of get an idea. Just hope it's not Grant Cohn, so he doesn't just say next question. Because he doesn't want to answer questions for him. So, but I think, there's some Matt Barrows or somebody will ask him that question. They'll get it done. Marvin says clutch throws by Purdy to Kittle and clutch catches. You're right. They're making big time catches. So it was Christian McCaffrey. That one, he made a great throw and it was caught. Michael Humphrey, the 49ers MVP tonight, was Dak Prescott. Well played. I'm enjoying that one. What was Purdy's quarterback rating? Let me see. I'll hop over to the stats real quick. Check out Purdy's. So his QBR, which is quarterback, was 94.7. He was 19 of 29, so 10 incompletions. 65.5 in his completion percentage. That's 5 points higher than last week against Seattle. He had 214 yards passing, no touchdowns, no interceptions. And then as far as receiving, George Kittle had 5 catches for 95 yards with 31 long, the juggling pass. Debo had 4 for 45. Ayuk 2 for 26. Jennings 2 for 26. McCaffrey 6 for 22. McCaffrey's average on catches wasn't very good, but he's the check down guy. The rest of those receivers, the big four, all double-digit average. So that's good news for the 49ers. I mean, and that's the thing. That's what you need to be able to convert first downs and be able to make plays. So I think that, the 49ers did really well right there. So I'm good with it. I'm good overall with what they did. I mean, do you have to make sure you're making more plays in the next game? Probably. Yeah, you probably do. But, Siggy Slice says, Kittle's juggling catch was the key to this win, aside from the defense, of course. You're right. It was a big-time play. Huge in the game. Mr. Corey says the better team won. I agree with that for sure. Me and you are on the same page. KNDR says, never seen a rookie so cool and calm and collected. Brock Purdy. Yeah, well done. Brock Purdy. Beast. Mr. Corey says, every wide receiver catch was huge, not about the yards or touchdowns. Yeah. Bobo says, we are used to getting bad calls, and Eric Armstead's scared of roughing call. I think he was. I think he was. WTF says, Coach Ant, what are you most excited about this win? We get to go to the NFC Championship game. That's what I'm excited about. Every time you win, you check a box, your ultimate goal. Your goal is not to get to the NFC Championship game. Your goal is to get to the Super Bowl. But you take it one game at a time. And the next game is against the Eagles in Philadelphia. They played really well all year, and they deserve that home field advantage. And now the 49ers have to go into Philadelphia, and they have to get that win. And they're gonna need every single player on their team to play their absolute best, to play tough. And then you get to get to the Super Bowl, which is your goal. Then you got another game to win. So I think all it is just another notch in the belt. Another win that you can build from and try to get better. San Francisco John says the last play in formation was dumb, as I don't know what kind. It reminds me of last year's wildcard ending. It is, as you put hashtag LM49AO. Yeah, it's called the A11 offense. There's actually teams that run it as their actual offense in high school. It hasn't been highly successful. There's been teams that have done it okay. But yeah, it did not work in this situation, that's for sure. Google accounts an ant. I was listening to Dallas content creator prior to the game. They said, win or lose, you'll respect the Cowboys. I absolutely respect that defense now. Great showing, nonetheless, on to Philly. I respect their defense. I never didn't respect Dallas's defense. There were areas where I thought they were weak that the 49ers could take advantage of. So do I respect Parsons, and I respect DeMarcus Lawrence, and I respect... Yeah, I did. There was good players. Van Der Esch in the run game, right? He's good. But when it came down to it, there was areas where you could attack, and the 49ers were trying to do that. And Jan says, you're not wrong, my guy. Well played. I almost forgot about that saying. Jan does not miss at all. I think he says Chains made a couple of big catches as well. There were lots of big catches. These players were making plays. It was fun. Bo says, I'm going to sleep with a smile on my face while holding my pit bull Jinnabel tonight. Well done. Nice cuddle buddy with Jinnabel. Good job there. Lou says, Ant, absolutely love your jersey. Thank you so much. Yeah, I guess this was a Christmas gift. It was back ordered, of course, because Brock Purdy's the man. And so it came in like this week, and I had to wear it for the game. And showing my support for Brock and what he's been doing and how he's led this team. I've been impressed by it. It could also be a Steve Bono jersey, right? But no, it's a Brock Purdy jersey. I love the new saloon font, right, guys? I mean, the saloon font is fantastic. So it's a cool jersey. It feels nice. And supporting my guy Brock. I mean, he's played so good this year. Been really, really pumped about it. David Campbell says Lenore has really battled this year. Has slowly gotten better all year. I agree. And he had another big play, an interception. Did he give up the deep one? Yes. But he made a huge play. So I'm a big fan of it. Big fan. Mr. Corey says, I know several Cowboys fans and have hated the Cowboys for over 30 years. This is the last year, Christmas, my birthday, Thanksgiving. And then WTM says, what grade do you give Mooney Ward? I thought he played good. They didn't really challenge him a whole lot. There was early in the game. He was playing too far off. They ended up bouncing back from it. And then he played and he made that big play on Gallup. And I think that's one thing to remember. I didn't hear Gallup's name pretty much the whole game. CD had a game, but pretty much everybody else, was kind of shut down. So John says, I respect Demo game as of late. These last 2 games, the picks were huge of confidence. Hyena. Yeah, I like the Hyena nickname. What's up, Philip? How's it going? Welcome to chat. Says, how many Super Bowls has Cincinnati played in? How many times did Cincinnati have to defeat the Buffalo Bills to get to the Super Bowl? And how many times have the 49ers beat the Bengals in the Super Bowl? Oh, that is a good question. I believe the Bengals played in 2 Super Bowls, Super Bowl 16, Super Bowl 23. They lost to the 49ers in both of those, but they also played last year in the Super Bowl against the Rams and lost that. I think they didn't go through Buffalo last year. So I think, is this the first time? I'm not sure. That's a great question, Philip. I do not know the answer all the way to that. So wow, yeah, I mean that's a lot of stuff. What's up, Anderson? Anderson says, shout out to Parsons. He kept the Cowboys in the game. Different look for our offense playing a great defense. It was tough. It was tough to get about it. And Motivation Gaming says Dak intercepted shows us again that he can't win big games. He's struggling. Marvin says, today I turned 72. The Niners winning a great birthday present. I love it. Well, happy birthday, Marvin. Wow, awesome. I'm glad they won on your birthday, Marvin. You deserve it. Marvin, one of the great followers on 49ers Cutback. I mean, one of the great people. It's not even close. One of the best that comes through chat. I love interacting with Marvin. So welcome. And Marvin says, since he beat KC to get to the Super Bowl last year, you're right, they did. I don't remember who they beat in the years they played the 49ers. It was completely two different teams, right? You had Sam Weiss in Super Bowl 23. I don't remember who the coach was. I could see his face. I can't remember his name. They had 2 different quarterbacks. It was a different roster overall because you had Boomer Esiason in Super Bowl 23. Yeah, that's a great question overall. Traffic says, did anyone else get a little PTSD when Ray fumbled the ball? Nice comeback from him on the next return, though. Yeah, I know. It was tough. It was tough. I mean, just seeing it go on the ground, 49er fans just have to feel it. We just have to. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to check out. I thank you all for coming through on the reaction show. There's going to be plenty of content coming out all throughout the week. Thank you guys so much for coming. A huge 49ers win against the Dallas Cowboys. On to Philadelphia to play the Eagles. Going to be a spectacular week of content. It's going to be a fun game on Sunday. NFC Championship game. 49ers are going up against it. Thanks, everyone, so much. And thanks to Marvin for saying Forrest Gregg and the quarterback was Ken Anderson. Well played. I forgot. You got it for me. Really appreciate it. Until next time, stay safe and remember the right way is always the 49ers way.